Hey guys, welcome back. It's Jennifer, and this is day 5 of Sorcery Salon. So today our theme is relationship sorcery, and so the energetics of relationships. And so today I'm going to share some cool stuff with you all about the energetics of relationships and why you need to know what the energetics are of relationships. So today we're going to talk about the embodiment of energetic worthiness. We're going to talk about deleting people-pleasing tendencies and deleting and removing validation seeking. And so today we're going to go live for 22 minutes. And then also I have an invitation for you to join me inside a masterclass that I'm doing right after this. So look, you may have already been invited to this masterclass or DM me for a link. The masterclass starts at 3 o'clock. But today I really want to invite you to a place and space where you can relax and be yourself in life and in your relationships. And so if you're feeling like you can't, and it's so hilarious, like my best friend in the whole entire world, I was on a call with her just now. And in human design, she is a 5-1, so a heretic investigator. And she's also really, really an opulent person. Like she knows how to make money. She knows how to get the money. And, you know, in her relationships, people make her the expert. So that might be you, that people are making the expert, but also they're making her responsible for their life choices. So not cool. Not cool. And so what I would love to talk to you about today is the energetics of healthy relationships. Because you know, let's just pretend you've been going to the Sorceress of Success, you've enrolled in the program, you've gone through the sovereignty phase. So you've noticed all the places and spaces where you are not sovereign, and you've started that process to become sovereign in your relationships. So what happens then, I'm so excited, what happens then is the universe actually tests you. Like, what's your level of commitment? What's your level of commitment? And so one of the places where people do notice if you have a tendency to overwork, what is going on? I think the universe doesn't want to have this conversation with you. How freaking interesting. So the energetics of having a really great relationship with someone includes you getting to be 100% yourself and be relaxed in your relationships. So you may not have been programmed to do that. You may have been programmed to do what I call step and fetch, where you go out, you see what problems that you can solve for people in your intimate circles with your clients, all of that kind of stuff, to the detriment of your own energy, to the detriment of your own sovereignty. So let's pretend you've already gone through that sovereignty phase and now you're ready to go into the sorcery phase. So one of the cool things, and it's been proven over and over again, I would go check heart math if you want to like double check on me and what I'm about to say. Because I know that heart math has a lot of surveys. There's 0 degrees of separation between you energetically and the people who are in your primary inner circle partnerships. So that would be your lover, your children, you know, your like inner circle intimate partnerships, your work inner circle partnerships as well. And this actually works on people that you don't necessarily have a great relationship with, but there's 0 degrees of separation. So if you are a very intuitive person like I am, if you pick up messages from spirit like I do, you will get messages from their bodies. You will get messages from what they're thinking about doing. But the thing is that they also get messages sometimes from you and what you're thinking about doing. And so what you can start to do, and I mean, obviously I can't teach you how to do it in 22 minutes or less, but you can start to program your aura with what you would like people to bring you. And so probably the best way to describe this is like asking a question like, who am I being right now? Who am I being? And, so a lot of the sorcery component is the energetics of who you are being in relationship to other people. Are you like my friend, like the primary problem solver for members of her family? And, of course she wants to solve these problems for people or with people, but she doesn't want to solve them at the detriment of her energy. And so thinking about that, like, how exhausted are you running around solving things for people when you can actually start to program your aura, start to be different energetically, which turns you into kind of like Teflon, like people who would normally come to you and have you solve problems for them, or maybe normally but you're not doing it anymore, like 5 minutes ago, energetically. Now that you're in the sorcery phase, what can happen is you can get tested. But also, what I really want you to notice is that once you start to notice people are using your time, people are using your talents, and maybe without your permission, your express permission, they just assume. So I'm wondering, guys, how many people in your life assume that they get to use your talents? And are they paying you correctly for those talents if they are, if it's professional? And then is there a resource allocation? Is there an energy allocation if they are your intimates, if they're like your friends, your family, your lover, your children? And the energetics of it in the sorcery phase, we're going to be talking about the energetics of the different parts of your body, what messages different parts of your body can receive from the cosmos and also from other bodies. And instead of waiting until the last freaking minute, maybe you can just start to hear the whispers of what people might want from you and then decide, like, does this even freaking work for me? Does it even work for me? Because at this phase, you might need mentorship to be able to handle a shakeup in your relationships. You might. And, whether your relationships survive this shakeup, now that you've built your sovereignty, now you're going into sorcery. And, part of sorcery is alchemy, isn't it? It's part of that. Alchemy is very much part of that. And so what elements go into your day-to-day? Like, what is everyday alchemy for you? Is a really, really great question. And so are you going to survive these shakeups in your primary love relationships? Are you finished worrying ahead of time for other people and you're allowing them to clean up their own mess, and then you're taking back your energy, you're taking it back, and what are you starting to use your energy for, and what alchemy is available when you have 100% of your own energy back for you? Like, what is that? And so the energetics of that, like, if you follow my stuff, you know that I have been facilitating that energetics style coaching and facilitation for quite a long time. Part-time up until from 2010 to 2014, and then full-time from 2014 up until now. And, so my invitation for you is that you're probably going to start to ask yourself questions like, I have a lot of energy now. I want to get going. How do I organize my life? How do I do what I want to do for me and not have upset in my house? So what are the energetics of creating that for yourself? And then also, if you notice that you get angry, you blow up when people are getting and crossing your boundaries, and then what energetics are available so you notice when people are starting to think about crossing your boundaries. And I would say, yeah, I remember back in the day when I was in property management and in real estate, I would notice, and this is how I managed to be able to, like, have a portfolio that's double the size, over double the size, almost triple the size of a regular property manager, was using my intuition to notice what I thought that I needed to be doing. And instead of ignoring it and waiting until somebody like comes and gets in your face about something, to notice the whispers and notice the nuance. And so the different parts of your body will give you different nuances. Your energy types, your human design energy type, if you know that, like generators and manifesting generators are going to get a different feeling when somebody's lying to them. And they are absolutely going to be doing a different type of alchemy for sure. With that open and enveloping aura, they kind of like pull people in and they get more information from people than maybe a projector would. A projector needs to be invited. Otherwise, you know, oh my goodness, so difficult to go out in the world and just sort of like give your wisdom the way that you would like to be giving it. And, gosh, I have so many stories about this. Another girlfriend of mine who's a projector, I think I told her like a year ago she was having not great relationships with people. And I told her, okay, well, the people that you're not having great relationships with, just leave them alone for a bit. And she couldn't. She absolutely couldn't. You know, her definition of herself in relation to those other people, she just absolutely could not. And so what happened was one of the people that I was really recommending that she take a break from, she ended up creating a not great relationship with that person, or that person created a not great relationship with her. And so they couldn't have a proper plug-in in the relationship together. So the energetics of relationships. And why do I call it sorcery? Well, source, you are the source of your life. You're the source of your universe. And so to be able to have better acumen on handling that, better acumen on getting the relationships in gear in a way that's really, really juicy and generative. And then you're attracting like-minded people because your aura is nice and clean. It's crispy. People know what they can get from you. They know what they can't get from you. And at this phase and stage, because you're empowering yourself with these transformational tools, when something comes up, you're getting mentorship, and then you're starting to, I think the word is imbue. Like you're just really, really filled with this energy that's you. Absolutely you. And super, super important. Like think about the planet and how many people are really authentically themselves. And then they know how to operate their earth vehicle authentically as themselves. And so there is a magic formula to this. Is your formula going to look like anybody else's formula? Absolutely freaking not. Even twins, even identical twins will have some slight variations because there are some faster moving planets. So depending, you know, I mean, they don't always come out at the same time, twins. Sometimes there's hours difference in the delivery. And so once you know that, once you know what people expect of you, then you can start to move the parts. It can start to become a shuttle game. It can start to become really freaking fun. Really freaking fun. So what I had to tell you about this, it makes me think of an energy tool that I taught someone, I think it was like maybe 2014, 2015. And so I used to facilitate this 5-day transformational workshop, and she was one of the participants. And so she had lent $10,000 to a man that she was dating, and he never paid her back. And they stopped dating. So she lent him $10,000. They stopped dating, and he never paid her back. And I can't remember whether it was I think it was within a 2 or a 3 year window that we were going to do this alchemy. So we did this energetic exercise, and you know, it was her doing the energetic exercise. I was facilitating her. And then there were other participants in the class witnessing the facilitation. And the coolest freaking thing happened, you guys. So freaking cool. So she hadn't been in regular contact with this person. He knew, obviously, that, you know, I mean, $10,000, like if you found it in a bag laying beside the road, unlikely that you would want to give it back. I mean, if somebody caught you on video camera and said, hey, Jennifer, we know that there was $10,000 in that bag, give it to us, then of course I would give it back, but some people wouldn't. Some people would be like, what are you talking about? So freaking fun. So what happened, she came to class the next day and she showed us an email from this person who was like, oh, I know I have to give you that money and I'm feeling really guilty about it. And it was almost like she had energetically nagged him because the email was so defensive, and she did not have physical contact with this person. She never sent him an email. She never did a voicemail. There was like nothing. There was just what we did in the class energetically with her body and with his body that made that connection again and allowed that alchemical process to make him honor that debt. So what would that be like? Like, you don't have to go into like what do I want to say? You don't have to go into a stressful situation. It can be that you're energetically playing with your household. You're energetically playing with your finances. But your relationships are, I would say, the number one thing that we're here to experience. Relationships and who we are in relationship to other people. And especially if we're making eye contact, my incarnation cross in human design is the vessel of love. And so I'm here to teach people how to love their experience in their body. And also for me to have a relationship with my body that I love. And I would say over the years since I started working with human design, it's been absolutely remarkable, you guys. Remarkable. I've lost 75 pounds off my body. If you look at like 2-3 years ago, what size I was compared to what size I am right now, it's really remarkable. And I would say a lot of that is being in contact with my physical form. Like, what is my response to this? How do I gauge my response to this? And so those are questions. Those are questions. Like, what is a normal response to this? Like, what are we doing as human beings when we experience stress, when we have people standing and thumping our boundaries? Like, what are the energetics of making changes with this? And so my hope, my brand promise at the end of Relationship Sorcery, which is a 1-month module in my Sorceress of Success program, that you will be able to relax and be yourself with life and your relationships. You're going to attract like-minded people who have generosity of spirit. Like, they're as generous as you are. They might even be more generous than you. What would that be like? Oh my goodness. And then your choices are consistently fulfilling to you energetically, and you're able to make choices based on abundance, relaxation, and personal traction. And so these are all the energetics that you are going to put into your aura using these energetic processes that I'm going to facilitate. And then also you might know some energetic processes, and so we can start to plug in what you already know with what you are going to learn. So how much more fun could we have with this? Tomorrow I'm going to be talking about financial sorcery. And so, like, what are the energetics of, you know, like making money show up out of nowhere as if by magic? And so what would that be like for you to have that? And then also, because you've gone through the sovereignty process, then this is money that you get to keep. This isn't money that you just like poof, you know, for a bill. And like ages ago, I used to have this show called The Audacious Ask. And so that would be people's ask. They're like, okay, I need this money. I want to buy a house. And so we would work together. They would be able to buy a house. And, or I need this money because I want to do this thing or that thing. Like I remember somebody wanted to go on this trip to South Africa. And so we worked together on this Audacious Ask show. The person went out and actually did the things, did the processes that came up. That were downloaded from source for them specifically. And yeah, they were able to like generate $10,000 so that they could go on a trip to South Africa. So all of this is available to you. And, if you don't know how to do it, it's just probably time to learn how to do it. And if you've learned some of the processes, it's time to get out your alchemist's hat and your alchemist cape and be a sorceress for better, more generative, juicy, abundant, relaxing relationships. Sounds great to me. I'm an advocate for peace and calm. So my invitation for you is if you have an open ego center today at 3:00 Pacific Standard Time, so that's like in 15 minutes. I'm going to be going live on Inspired Choices Network. You can join me and we can talk about open-hearted business and prosperity. So that's my invitation. Also join me tomorrow for financial sorcery. We'll see you then. Ciao, guys.